No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
Alright, line me up. Come on.
So, Dementus in this new Mad Max prequel, Furiosa, is the big baddie, right? But apparently, the movie doesn't tell us everything about him. Kinda strange for such a key character. Welcome back to your nerdy show. If you haven't watched Furiosa, then spoiler alert. Here's the thing. Dementus is full-on Mad Max crazy. Like, seriously messed up. But get this, he also cracks jokes in the most intense moments. Weird, right? I guess it's the Wasteland for you. Gotta find humor wherever you can. These jokes actually give us a little peek into his twisted mind, which is kinda cool. By the end of the movie, Dementus is a big deal in the Wasteland and for Furiosa's story. But we still don't get the full picture on the guy. The movie just throws some hints about him here and there. Makes you wonder what his whole backstory is, you know? Expected backstory explained. Okay, so we know practically zilch about Dementus before the whole world went Mad Max crazy. He mentions having a family way back when, but that's it. Interesting though, because he seems old enough to remember life before the Wasteland. Probably had a regular life before earning the name Dementus, which is pretty self-explanatory. The movie doesn't spill the beans on his past or what happened to his family, but there is one strange clue. A teddy bear. Dementus clutching a teddy bear? Yeah, that's pretty darn weird. Makes you wonder what kind of messed up stuff went down in his past, you know? Ah, that teddy bear. Throughout the movie, Dementus walks around with this creepy teddy bear strapped to him. Remember when he first captured Furiosa? He tries to calm her down with this teddy bear while his biker gang is brutally killing people. Talk about messed up. He claims it belonged to his child, and that Furiosa needs to keep it super safe. This teddy bear clearly means a lot to him, but it also hints at a dark past. The movie doesn't tell us exactly what happened to his family, but we do know they died. Considering how close this story is to the Mad Max apocalypse, it's easy to guess they didn't go peacefully. This whole family tragedy probably explains a lot about Dementus' craziness and cruelty. Here's the thing though, Furiosa and Max both lost their families too, but they channeled that pain into becoming heroes. Dementus, on the other hand, uses it as an excuse to be a total villain. Pretty interesting how loss can push people in such different directions. Immortan Joe connections. So Dementus wasn't exactly the most focused villain. At first, he was chasing some dreamland called the Green Place, but Furiosa wasn't giving him any hints. Can't blame her really. Wasteland survival over treasure hunts any day. Then, this dude gets a new plan, conquer the big three of the Wasteland. The Citadel, Gastown, and the Bullet Farm. Talk about aiming high. He even manages to snag Gastown with a sneaky trick. But then Furiosa and Praetorian Jack come in and play spoiler alert for his Bullet Farm takeover. Seems like Dementus wasn't as good at this villain stuff as he thought. Dementus' whole plan went up in smoke after Furiosa outsmarted him. This guy wanted to be a Wasteland warlord, taking over the coolest spots, the Citadel, Gastown, and the Bullet Farm. He even got Gastown for a bit with a sneaky trick. But then Furiosa warned Immortan Joe, who wasn't exactly happy about being ambushed. Thanks to the heads up, Dementus' big surprise attack at Gastown flopped. Immortan Joe had way more fighters, and Furiosa just had to wait for the right moment to strike back at a weakened Dementus. Looks like Dementus wasn't quite as cut out for villainous world domination as he thought.
One of the great forces of nature.
Connection with Furiosa. Furiosa and Dementus have a pretty messed up history. The movie starts with Dementus' gang kidnapping Furiosa from this green place. Her mom tries to save her, but Dementus goons capture her too. Then he does this horrible thing where he tortures Furiosa's mom with fire just to get information. Seeing that as a kid would definitely make you hate someone. Furiosa becomes Dementus' prisoner and gets a front row seat to all the Wasteland's craziness. Dementus, in his own twisted way, tries to act like a father to her, even calling her Little D and giving her his teddy bear. Creepy. He even tries to shield her from the violence, but let's be real, that doesn't exactly make up for torturing her mom. In the end, Dementus sells Furiosa to Immortan Joe as a breeder, which is just another layer of awful. No wonder Furiosa hates this guy.
You fabulous.
Fate of Dementus. Alright, so the movie throws us a curveball with how Furiosa takes care of Dementus. Forget shooting him or dragging him behind a car. That's way too quick for this villain. The narrator, the history man, tells us a few different stories about Dementus' demise, leaving us guessing. But then he spills the real tea, something only he and Furiosa know. Turns out Furiosa didn't kill him outright. Instead, she did something way more messed up, for Dementus at least. Remember that peach pit Furiosa had since she was a kid? She plants it right in Dementus. Gross. This basically turns Dementus into a living fertilizer for the seed. He's stuck alive for years, slowly being drained by the growing tree. Talk about a slow and painful way to go. And to top it all off, Furiosa feeds the fruit from that tree to the escaped wives in Fury Road, which connects the two movies. Furiosa might be a hero, but she's also one heck of a vengeful character. Even though Dementus was a nasty piece of work, his death in Furiosa is actually a pretty interesting moment. Here's the thing. Right before Furiosa finishes him off, Dementus gets all philosophical, claiming they're both already dead inside. Basically, he's saying all they have left is feeling pain and stuff. But Furiosa shuts that right down. She tells him he might be dead to the world, but she's gonna make him live as a tree. Talk about poetic justice. Dementus gets turned into a living fertilizer for the peach pit Furiosa carried from her childhood. This dude who thrived on violence and destruction ends up giving life to something new. Pretty powerful message, right? And it totally fits with Furiosa's character. She's a fighter, but she's also driven by hope for a better future. Dementus' death isn't just revenge. It's a symbol of that hope. That's what makes this movie so good. It's not just action and wasteland craziness. It's got some real depth to it. So that's Dementus, the villain you love to hate or maybe just hate from Furiosa. Crazy, cruel, and ultimately used as a planter box. Not exactly the legacy most villains shoot for, but hey, at least he gives new life in the Wasteland. Furiosa is a wild ride of a movie, filled with action, revenge, and a surprising amount of depth. If you're into the Mad Max universe, this is definitely a must-watch. What did you think of Dementus? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into your favorite movie characters.